Hello and welcome to this introductory video for EC220. I'm going to just give you a brief introduction to myself, look at a couple of parts of the course syllabus, and we'll take a look at how the Moodle page is set up. So this will be a more informal video than most of the videos that you watch over this 6-week course, and it will be the only video where you actually see me in the video. So first, let me give you a little bit of background about myself. My name is Norman Sedgley. I'm a full professor in the economics department. I am also the department chair. Before I was the department chair, I was the Franz Marek chaired research professor. I've published over 20 articles in peer-reviewed journals in my academic career. Most of those articles have used applied econometrics, and the backbone of applied econometrics is statistics, the types of material and topics that we will cover in this course. And then outside of academics, I have a wealth of experience consulting, and I've done big data and data science consulting using statistics and econometrics for the finance industry. For example, for a bank, I created a custom credit scoring model that was used to help a credit union get a foothold in the small dollar lending market. I have worked on econometric models, spatial econometric models that help real estate company in Seattle develop commercial real estate. Many other projects also. So what I would like to do this semester is not just teach you statistics in a way that's rigorous, but also convince you by using different examples within a business context, convince you of how useful the tools that we are going to study will ultimately be to you, not just in completing the curriculum at Loyola or whatever institution you return to if you're not a Loyola student, but also even beyond that in your career ultimately. So that's a little bit about myself. I'd like to, at this point, jump in and just show you where the Moodle web page is. I have the Moodle web page open here. And at the top, it says EC220 Business Statistics, and there's the catalog description. When there are announcements in this class, for example, if I add additional office hours or have to change my office hours for some reason, I will put those announcements here under course announcements. It looks like there's a lot of material here, and there is. That's one of the side effects of doing an all online class is that you create a lot of documents and things to click on, etc. However, I think that we have organized the Moodle website so that things are fairly easy to find, and it won't take too long for you to learn how to navigate this web page. And looking at this, the first thing I just want to look at briefly is the syllabus. We're not going to go over too much of the syllabus. You can download it and you can look at it on your own. But I do want to point out just a couple of things on the syllabus. First, the meeting place and times is online, and this is a course that runs in summer 1. So that's May 30th to July 12th, and I will have grades in on July 12th. I have to have grades in on July 12th. So that's just 6 weeks. We have a lot to do in 6 weeks. So we have to be very punctual, and we have to stay right on schedule. In order to make that a little bit easier and to increase the flexibility in a 6-week window, I have picked a format for this class, which is an asynchronous lecture format. In other words, I pre-recorded videos that cover the most important topics that are in the textbook that I want you to learn, and that are covered on the problem sets, and then ultimately on a couple of exams. And you can watch those videos, and I've given you a time frame over which you should watch each set of videos for each chapter, but you can log in at your convenience and watch the videos. If you need to pause the video to go and do something else, you're free to pause the video, and you can watch the video as many times as you would like. So if you want to do one pass through the video and then you want to watch it a little bit more carefully and pause it and take notes, you can work that way. So it really is conforms nicely with a number of different learning styles. So when you're watching the video, you won't be watching me live, but you will have live access to me On Mondays and Wednesdays, I will have office hours from 5:30 until 7:30 at night. And the way that you get there is just by opening up this URL that is on the syllabus, and it will take you to Zoom. And then when prompted, you'll be able to click yes and then join a session where I will have live online office hours. I'm going back here. Guess I'll have those live online office hours twice a week for you. Okay. The only other thing on the syllabus that I would like to point out to you is the course schedule. We have to stick to the schedule. The deadlines are hard deadlines. Every assignment that you complete, there's Zoom, every assignment that you complete, every exam that you take will be 100% conducted online through Moodle. So Moodle is the only place that you need to log into other than Zoom during my office hours. They're all going to be found on Moodle. You're going to open them. You're going to complete them on Moodle. You will submit them on Moodle. It's just one nice portal where everything is relatively simple and easy to find. You don't have to deal with a number of different types of websites or applications here. So for example, typically what I'll do is have a problem set that I will open up on a Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. and it will be due, you can see here, the following Wednesday at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Those problem sets will consist of 3 problems, 2 that you complete on your own and 1 that you complete as a group and turn in an answer that you came up with through working with your group on an online forum. I'll explain a little bit more about that when we look at the Moodle webpage in just a second. So there are typically, well, there are going to be, basically a problem set due each week, right? And then there's going to be exam 1. And with the exams, I will open them up and give you 48 hours to complete the exam. But you will have 3 hours to complete it in one sitting. So when you open it, you'll have 3 hours. It will be timed. And then after 3 hours, the timer will run out and you'll have to submit your answers. That will be plenty of time to complete these exams. And you can log in and take your exam at any point within that 48-hour window. What else do I want to say? Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention about that is just the way that it's set up in Moodle. This is a kind of just the way that the technology works, is that you want to make sure that if you want the full 3 hours, that you log in 3 hours before the exam closes. That's true for the problem sets too. That's just the way that the software works. So for example, if I'm going to close this first exam at midnight on June 24th and you log in to take the exam at 11 p.m., you're only going to have an hour to complete the exam. So if you want the full 3 hours, make sure that you log in at 9 to get the full 3 hours. Okay, make sure you log in by 9 p.m. And then we'll have 3 more problem sets, problem set 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then this is the only exception to having a problem set due every week. On July 9th, I have to collect your last problem set, and that's on a Monday instead of a Wednesday, because I want to grade it and get the feedback to you before you take the final exam, which will open at 12:01 on July 11th and close 48 hours later on July 12th at midnight. And I have to have all your exams in on July 12th. Not just your exams, but your final grades. Okay, so that's why that last problem set is due a little bit earlier. Okay, let's leave this. Let me just tell you there are 3 modules to the class. Module 1, which covers basic data analysis and descriptive statistics, and each of these modules builds on the previous modules. So the information here is very cumulative in that sense. It would be hard to complete Module 2 without knowing what's in Module 1. And it would be impossible to complete Module 3 without mastering the material in the first 2 modules. So the first module is just, basically summarizing data, different techniques and appropriate methods for summarizing different types of data. That includes tabular summaries, graphical summaries, as well as simple numerical summaries of a data set like the mean and the median or the variance. Module 2 will extend Module 1 and start to talk about probability theories and probability models. We'll talk about what we mean by a statistical experiment or a random experiment, the sample space, how we define random variables over a sample space, and how do we think about the distributions of different types of variables necessary to answer probability type questions And once we can answer probability type questions, we can start to think about how you use statistics to make decisions, make good data-based scientific decisions. And that's what Module 3 is all about, statistical inference or statistical decision making in a sense. And I'm gonna teach you guys a bit about the backbone of what I do, which is applied econometrics, by focusing at the end of the course on simple linear and multiple regression analysis, a really powerful tool we'll get to talk about in-sample and out-of-sample prediction and forecasting. We'll do a little bit of time series, talk a little bit about the difference between time series data and cross-sectional data. We'll talk about what we call dummy variables or indicator variables and how to include those in a regression analysis. And so that's the 3 modules in the course. And as I've already mentioned, your grade is based on a set of 6 problem sets and 2 exams. Your problem sets, the average will be 50% of your grade. That will be the weight on the problem sets. And then each exam is 25% of your grade. So it's pretty easy to calculate your final grade once you know how you've done on all of the different problem sets and exams. So you can read the syllabus on your own. I would definitely encourage you to do that. And let me go back here and we'll look at Moodle again. So just real quick, getting back into my Moodle page for this course. Here it is. Okay. The way that this is set up is by module. So you'll find module 1, a summary, and a list of objectives that I would like to complete in module 1. And then this is broken into 3 parts, the material that you need to complete the module. There's a section called read, a section called watch, and a section called participate. And then finally, there's a 4th section too, I guess I should mention, which is submit. And this is where you submit the answers to your problem sets or your exam if it happens to be an exam week. So you can see here that you have some chapter notes to read. Those are my own personal notes. You can think of them as sort of an abridged version of the material that's in the textbook. The textbook is the Anderson, Sweeney, and Williams business statistics with Excel, with Microsoft Excel. So we're going to use a lot of Microsoft Excel, and you're going to learn a lot about Microsoft Excel in this class. The way that you're going to cover the Excel material is going to be not just to read the textbook, but to look at my Excel guide, which is an appendix to each one of the chapter notes that I provide for you. And in those Excel guides, I walk carefully through a data set with examples. I've taken screenshots and I've painted in circles and arrows and everything else to show you step by step how to complete statistical analysis using Excel. And in order to complete the Excel, reproduce the results that I have in the Excel guide, I've provided you with the data set that I use in the example. So you can open those up if you would want to, for example, the Walmart cross-sectional data set, and go ahead and step by step verify that you know how to do the statistical analysis and get exactly the same answers that I come up with in the Excel guide. And there's typically, one of these set of chapter notes for each chapter that we cover in the textbook. Now, talking about Excel, you'll also see that I have some Python code for Module 1. I'll be honest with you, Excel is not my favorite software package to do statistical work in. I have a strong preference for using a program called Python. If you're interested in data analytics and data science, your time would be well spent learning Python and another program called R, both of which I have a strong preference for compared to Excel. However, in this class isn't really based on, it's not really based on Python or R, but I have provided you with Python code. If you set up Python on your computer and you set up Jupyter notebooks for Python, you can open up these files that I provide for you and recreate every single type of analysis that's in your textbook using Python, and you can look at the code and see how it's done in Python. So this would be more for you, a self-directed study. It doesn't really come with support, but I've provided the Python code for you just in case you're one of those students who's really interested more in a career maybe in data analytics or data science, and you want to be able to sort of mix what you're learning in this course together a little bit more with computer science or big data techniques and that type of thing. So you can learn a lot by Python, about Python, just by kind of working through my code and looking at it and seeing how to accomplish these things in that fantastic program. Under Watch, you've got your video lectures that you need to watch. Again, the dates by which you should watch each one of these video lectures is carefully spelled out in the syllabus. Under Participate, you'll find your problem sets. If you open a problem set, you'll find 2 problems that you need to answer. And then when you get to problem 3, it will tell you that you're expected to go and solve a group problem together on a discussion forum. So actually the problem sets are down here under Submit. And then your group problem, and I'll assign groups to you, and it'll be clear which group problem you're supposed to work on. You'll find those under these different links that say, for example, problem set 1 group discussion forum. You'll click on that. There'll be a series of different problems to participate in. I would ask you just to participate in the problem that you have been assigned, but you will be able to see other groups' discussions so that you can learn from each other. Okay, but again, don't solve other groups' problems for them. When you make your comments and you contribute to the discussion in the forum, just concentrate on whatever problem it is that I've assigned you in your group, okay? And there'll be one of these group discussion forums for each problem set. You can see it set up here for problem set 1, problem set 2. And when you're done and you're ready to submit your answer for this 3rd problem that's part of your problem set, you submit it by clicking on problem set 1 file upload. And that's going to allow you to upload the answer to that 3rd problem. You won't need to upload here the answer to the first 2 problems that you answer on your own. That'll happen automatically when you submit these problem sets through Moodle. Okay, and that's the way each one of the modules is outlined, right? Objectives and a summary and objectives, what you need to read. Again, going to the syllabus, you can see what dates you need to read those things by. Excel notes and guides, how to do things in Excel, some Python code, which would, if you're interested, and only if you're interested, you're not expected to, you don't have to do this, but you can learn a little bit of Python by downloading my code and reproducing everything we do in Excel and all the analysis that's in the textbook. In Python, here are all the videos you're supposed to watch. You can see here there are things that you need to download to complete the videos, and each of these videos, I should mention, is interactive. In other words, there'll be points of the video where the video will stop and ask you a question or a series of questions, and my expectation is that you'll take an honest shot at completing that analysis and answering the question, and if you answer it correctly, you're good to go. You're good to finish the lecture. So some of those interactive video questions require additional material, and they are listed under the video for which you need the material. So for example, if you look here at Chapter 6 Video Lecture 3, right, in order to complete the video and answer the interactive questions in the video, you'll want to open up Chapter 6 Worksheet for Video Lecture 3 Checkpoints. That's what these different questions in the video are called. They're called checkpoints, and you'll want the standard normal table in front of you. Or maybe even Excel open to use the Excel functions for calculating areas under the normal curve. You'll want the access to those as you watch the video and answer those questions. So again, there's a lot of material here, but it's organized in a very, very logical way. And again, there's the stuff that you go to participate in your weekly group problem, and the link that you use to upload your files, which are your answers to the group problem. Everybody in your group should submit the same answer, but I want everybody to submit their own answer. It just makes it easier for me when I grade to have everybody, an individual file for everybody, right? And so there are your problem sets. You can see exam 1 will be here under module 2, and there's problem set 4. Okay, same thing for the last module and the last exam. So very logically formatted. If you need help navigating around, you can email me, call me, or I have my phone set up. So if you call my office phone and I'm not there, I get an email alert and it forwards it to my cell phone. So that should be no problem getting hold of me. The other thing I would just say is that here at the top under Start Here, Module 0, there's the syllabus which we looked at. There's also a video for setting up Excel and for EC220. since we're primarily going to be using Excel to complete these statistical analyses, you need to make sure Excel is set up correctly. So what you need to make sure of is that you have what's called the Data Analysis Toolkit installed in Excel. And I walk you through how to do that on a PC in this video. Now, I don't use a Mac, so I really am not sure how to set it up in a Mac. I would assume that the steps are similar. If you have tech support problems, either with a PC or a Mac, you're better off not contacting me with those issues. You're going to get a better answer, and you're going to get it more quickly. I'm sorry, that was my cat. You're going to get it more quickly by going down here to where it says experiencing technical difficulties and clicking on the Office of Technology Services website, and there's a desk phone number there. And really, that's their job, is to help you with any technology or technical questions you have related either to the Moodle website and accessing things here, or setting up Excel on your PC or your Mac, and particularly a Mac, because I'm not familiar with Macs. I've never used them. I'm 100% a PC person. So again, I mean, I'm not the tech support person for Moodle web page problems. The place that you would want to go would be the Office of Technology Services for those types of questions. Okay, I didn't want this video to go too long, so I will end it here, and I will see you in EC 220 Business Statistics.